Was that what they did, or was that what you did?
I thought we had end of shot clock defense that gave up.
The name that is not on that list is Caitlin Clark. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think obviously people are going to be fired up about Caitlin Clark not being on the team, especially.
Caitlin Clark's journey in the WNBA has been like a roller coaster, from dominating games to facing haters, and now a suspension. But don't worry, this isn't the end. It's just another twist in her wild ride to the top. Want to know how she's gonna come back even stronger? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. But wait, there's one more twist you should be aware of before we get into the drama around the suspension. Imagine this, burning brightly, Caitlin Clark was tearing up the court in the Lynx's face. The supporters, they adore it. One person though is not applauding. Actually, they're not making any statements at all. Strange, huh?
I'll let her go right around us and she gets the easy basket, and that sort of changed things for them. So I don't necessarily know it was a lineup.
Let's analyze the events of that game. It was impossible to stop Clark. She was making passes that had everyone's mouths dropping and hitting shots from all angles. She appeared to be playing chess when everyone else was engaged in a game of checkers. The Lynx? There was nothing they could do to stop her. You ought to have seen the throng. They were going bonkers, and Clark wasn't even playing at home.
Was that what they did, or was that what you did?
I thought we had end of shot clock defense that gave up.
That was her level of skill. You could feel the atmosphere in the arena change each time she made contact with the ball. With their phones out, people were standing and attempting to catch every moment. They appeared to be aware that they were witnessing something unique. This is when the intriguing part comes in. Known for their formidable defense, the Lynx appeared to be at utter loss there. They experimented with everything, including double teams and traps. Nothing was successful. Clark was simply too intelligent, too fast, and too talented. Their dissatisfaction was evident on their expressions as she kept circling about them. Now, who was it that I indicated was not applauding? That was head coach of the Lynx, Cheryl Reeve. Whether they win or lose, coaches usually have something to say about outstanding performances following a game like this one. However, Reeve, at midnight, she was as silent as a midnight library. Reporters were nearly asking her to discuss Clark's performance during the post-game interview. Reeve, though, was not having it.
Overall, I think the stuff that we did, we don't really know else what we could do action-wise. We need feedback.
She would not stop complaining about Clark and her team's errors, their defensive shortcomings. She appeared to be allergic to the mention of Clark's name. What could be even more absurd? The more Reeve made an effort to keep Clark out of conversation, the more apparent it became that something was wrong. People began to question if Reeve was simply upset about the loss, or was there another activity occurring in the background?
Indiana's not a team that's hung their hat on their defense to this point. And so our 2-point field goal percentage killed us.
Cheryl Reeve has finally broke her silence about this L her team just took to Caitlin Clark.
When everyone believed Caitlin Clark was unstoppable, the WNBA revealed shocking information that stunned supporters. What followed will astound you. After an outstanding game against the Lynx, Clark unexpectedly found herself embroiled in a suspension dispute. That's correct, nobody predicted that the league's most attractive rookie would be benched. The worst part is this, not even an official statement on Clark's ban was released by USA Basketball. They seem to be attempting to keep everything under wraps. However, why? The Golden Girl of women's basketball, Caitlin Clark, what could she have possibly done to deserve this?
Here's Caitlin Clark technical foul situation. Now we know she is one technical foul away from potentially being suspended a game.
This suspension's timing is absurd. After his impressive performance, the Lynx defense was in complete disarray. She was the player that everyone wanted to watch and the talk of the town. And then, whoa, put on hold. It appears as though the league put an end to her quick ascent. What could be even more absurd? Both fans and observers are perplexed by the entire affair. People are attempting to understand the situation on social media in large quantities. While some argue that it's unfair, others are formulating bizarre hypotheses. Everyone is trying to solve the mystery, just like in a basketball mystery. But But this is when the intriguing part starts. There are rumors that Clark's suspension is related to the escalating hostilities inside the league. You see, this newbie taking center stage isn't sitting too well with some of the more experienced guys. Is it feasible that some individuals are uneasy because of Clark's success? There is more to this ban than just Caitlin Clark. It's drawing attention to some more significant problems with women's basketball. We are discussing the politics involved in selecting the members of Team USA, the way established players handle the up-and-coming talent in the league, and more. Do you think the ban was difficult? Await to learn about the additional difficulties Caitlin is dealing with. It hasn't been an easy ride for this novice to become famous. In fact, it's causing the WNBA to become quite dramatic. Now, let's discuss Team USA. One would assume that a player with Clark's level of success would be a lock. False. Fans are going crazy since she wasn't included to the roster.
The name that is not on that list is Caitlin Clark. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think obviously people are going to be fired up about Caitlin Clark not being on the team, especially
that if Caitlin was put on the team but only got a few minutes of playing time, which would be logical for a rookie on a great team that last lost in 1992.
Imagine LeBron being left off of the Dream Team. People are inquiring, and USA Basketball's silence is overwhelming.
Honestly, no disappointment. Like, I think it just gives you something to work for. You know, that's a dream. You know, hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation.
And that's not even the most absurd aspect. Legends from the WNBA are pursuing Clark. Hall of Famer Cheryl Swoops is out here doubting Clark's college scoring records. She claims that Clark benefited unfairly in some way. Brianna Stewart, too. In essence, she is claiming that Clark's achievements are meaningless in the absence of a championship. What a challenging group of people. Clark seems to be unable to get a break. Even though she's shattering records and lighting up the scoreboard, she continues to receive criticism. Some players even claim that her attractive and white appearance is the only reason she is receiving attention. Is that really true? It appears as though they are looking for any excuse to minimize her abilities, but never for a moment believe that Clark is doing this by himself. She has formidable allies on her side. Stephen Curry and LeBron James are rising up to protect Clark's style of play. LeBron even went so far as to accuse those who dislike Clark's style of play of being merely jealous. That right there is a significant backup. Not to be overlooked is what Shaq had to say. He is highlighting the fact that Clark is enhancing the WNBA's overall image. Everyone benefits from her increasing media attention and gaining new admirers. However, other players are too consumed by their own jealousy to recognize her contributions to the league. The truth is that Clark is doing more than simply hoops. She's making waves throughout the WNBA. There are many who are unhappy with her for questioning the status quo, but don't great players do just that? They enter, cause disturbance, and unnerve individuals. Ultimately, they improve the game. Thus, Clark is really suspended. However, that is only one front in a larger conflict. She's up against some incredibly unfair criticism, jealousy in the workplace, and outdated ideas. But she's demonstrating her belonging every time she sets foot on that court. She's altering the game, not simply playing it.